Makinde speaks on dropping 2027 presidential bid for another candidate. Well, they've started showing him shaky too. Yesterday, I even saw some people trying to bring down the banner, like the big banner in front of his office in Ibadan. I don't know. They were trying to remove it. I don't know. They said he has gone on holidays. He has gone on vacation, and there's somebody supposed to take over from him and be in charge of as the governor of the state. So they went to go and pull down his banner or something. I'm like, I think they do this Ibadan people. This Ibadan people, they're too local. Now, what for them? Although Governor Makinde addressed speculations that he planned to withdraw from the 2027 presidential race, Makinde also responded to the Federal High Court judgment involving the EFCC and Oyo State government's contract. The government issued his remark in a newsletter to Oyo State residents on Friday, July 24. Oyo State Governor Makinde has dismissed reports suggesting that he may abandon his 2027 presidential bid, insisting he remains committed to the race as the candidate of the Allied People's Movement, APM. Makinde addressed the speculations in a newsletter sent to Oyo State residents on Friday, July 25, saying he entered the presidential contest to give Nigerians a genuine political alternative. We already have that, and would not be deterred by mounting pressure or rumors. We already have a genuine political alternative, Makinde. I don't know, but I like you, but we already have a genuine candidate that we would want to vote for. The governor also urged residents to stay alert and report any suspicious activities to security agencies or dial the state's toll-free emergency line 615. Makinde used the newsletter to speak directly to the recent judgment delivered by the Federal High Court in Ibadan, which involved the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and its administration. He explained that the state government went to court after the EFCC requested records covering all government contracts and contractor payments from 2021 without pointing to any specific transaction or naming a particular allegation under investigation. Faced with what the governor described as a broad and undefined demand, the administration sought judicial guidance on how to respond lawfully, leadership reported. According to Makinde, the court confirmed that the EFCC holds the constitutional authority to investigate financial crimes, but ruled that this authority must be exercised within the limits set by the law, Vanguard reported. This was not a victory against the EFCC, but a victory for the rule of law and due process, Makinde said, adding that his government had never resisted legitimate investigation. He stressed, however, that accountability must be grounded in evidence and carried out in line with constitutional provisions. Makinde's denial of any plans to step down comes amidst what appeared to be growing attempts to unsettle his campaign ahead of the 2027 general elections. The governor did not name sources of the speculation, but was firm in his rejection of the claims, framing his continued candidacy as a matter of public interest rather than personal ambition. Previously, of his personal ambition, alright. Oluwafemi says, Mafo. Okay now. Mufsal says, EFCC should go to Lagos and Ogun State before your state. EFCC should not be used to intimidate nor oppress opposition. I'm telling you, we are in a free world to choose. Victor says, EFCC, look, Nigerians are not momo. Again, you people think that Nigerian youth are fools. Please and please, pray that my dream yesterday about this government called APC will not come to pass. What was the dream about? Taido says EFCC and ICPC are being used by the government to harass the opposition, and meanwhile, the inner circle of the government are involved in multi-billion-dollar scandal of various kinds, but nothing has been done. Don't mind them. Don't mind them. Timehin says people from the evil axis. Timehin says you are not one of them. You are deceiving yourself. You don't have the clout, the charisma, the wherewithal. Which one doesn't have the clout? You get this me. But Steven says, Oga Makinde, please better use that money and help some poor families there. Their prayers will extend your lifetime than to just useless it. Me and you know that you can't even win Oyo State. Oshifesa says he knows that it is a failed mission from onset. Well, it's good that he has a political ambition, but for now, I don't know. he probably would not have supporters like Peter Obi does. Nobody wants Tinubu, obviously, but Peter Obi is already there. So, I don't know. You should probably support Peter Obi soon. Kanu just says you are committed to this race when you know that you cannot win. Who is pushing you to waste your money? Voila. Alonga just says, do they fight federal government? Let's wait and see. Why can't they fight federal government? They can fight federal government, I beg. Abiodun says, right on, we are behind you and God is behind you. On your mandate you shall stand, shall fall this time around. Okay. Amoni says, if you like, you should not drop it. Who knows him apart from his other people? He can only advertise himself to the people in the state. Who has he ever done? Who has he ever done a federal level? Because he has not gotten to federal level, that's why he has not been able to do anything at federal level. Does that not? I don't understand. Tizo, Kaken says, please, I love you so much. Dayo says, as for making, that is witch hunting, but get your record straight. Barring electoral and judicial manipulation, Obi represent light, which ordinarily should overcome darkness, especially the evil night bed. But yes, so. Anthony says, Makinde fine man, no fear APC supported Kamala Harris against President Trump. The pump support now, Republicans wish to reward APC like they did to Maduro of Venezuela. Hopefully they'll be able to do that. Country says all the presidential candidates are just dreamers. They all lost already. President Tinubu to 2031. It's your President Tinubu that will lose by the special grace of God. Ridwan says politicians and games are 5 and 6. Makinde is a good man, especially for the civil servants of Oyo State. But there will always be a stain because man isn't perfect. But for presidential election in 2027, Makinde knows he cannot win, but he will gain his ground, yes, for the next one. At least vice president, certainly till 2035. This is all political games and batter within the circle of politicians. Yeah, that's how most of them used to do, actually, just to gain grounds. He knows that he's not going to win, but he's just going to use that one to gain grounds. I think I say you are digging your political grave. PC will win Oyo State, and Tinubu will be re-elected. They play. And you'll be sent to the dustbin. It is you that will go to the dustbin. Yeah, people. Very shameless people. Then he says all that have hands in the manipulation of 2023 elections are now fighting themselves. We are still expecting more. Everybody says, Emima take it, baby. Any ma taking, baby. Talo fete. I can say, have you helped Oyo State for almost 8 years? Yeah, man. Of course. He tried his best as governor of Oyo State. So what's the problem? Alright, my listeners, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.